Welcome to The Explainer. All right, let's jump right into this massive technological and honestly cultural shift that's happening right in your living room. The way we consume live sports is fundamentally changing, and it is happening at absolute breakneck speed.
I mean, we've all been there, right? You're scrambling to find the remote, switching inputs, furiously clicking around to find the right app just as kickoff happens. It used to be as simple as just turn into a specific channel. So let's unpack exactly why the sports broadcasting industry is undergoing such a chaotic digital transformation and why delivering a flawless live game to your screen is actually a monumental technological challenge.
Section 1. The decline of linear TV.
To really understand this current viewing chaos, we've got to start with shifting demographics. Get this, by 2026, the traditional pay TV market is projected to hold just a 28% share of global sports fans. Millions of people are cutting the cord, ditching those expensive, inflexible bundles for digital distribution. And this isn't just about saving a few bucks. It's a fundamental shift in human behavior.
And this really highlights the demographic divide when we look at daily viewing time. Younger viewers, those between 16 and 34, are spending only about 1.9 hours in front of a traditional TV screen compared to 2.6 hours for older viewers. The younger generations are simply abandoning the traditional living room setup, preferring to consume their content on mobile devices and social media platforms anywhere at any time.
Actually, it turns out this younger generation leans heavily toward instant gratification instead of committing to a full traditional live game broadcast. Just look at these weekly habits. 72% of digital viewers are watching highlights, while only 53% actually tune in for the live games. So broadcasters can't just slap a linear broadcast onto the internet anymore. They have to completely rethink the entire fan experience.
Section 2. Streaming fragmentation and churn.
So this demographic shift has basically created a giant, frustrating puzzle for modern consumers. Because broadcast rights are so incredibly fractured now, nearly two-thirds of fans, 62%, say they are completely lost when trying to track down their favorite team's match. Over half of fans have actually missed games simply because they couldn't figure out which specific app was hosting the event. That is a massive pain point for the whole industry.
And here's the harsh business reality behind all that frustration. The average US household is juggling, wait for it, 5.2 streaming services. I mean, how many are you paying for right now? 49% of fans feel they already subscribe to way too many platforms. When you combine this subscription fatigue with intense macroeconomic pressures and inflation squeezing our wallets, the result is sky-high churn. Millions of subscriptions are being canceled, including a staggering 2 million drop in the UK alone over the past year. Because of this, streaming platforms are facing immense pressure and must urgently pivot from a mindset of endless growth to a strict focus on pure profitability and retention.
Section 3. The live broadcast tech barrier.
But beyond the fractured business models, there's this invisible tech barrier making live sports fundamentally harder to pull off than, say, streaming an on-demand movie. Live sports are incredibly latency sensitive. A spoiled play literally ruins the entire product. To fix the buffering issues caused by massive concurrent traffic spikes, imagine millions of people logging on at the exact second of a penalty kick. The industry relies on superhero tech known as an edge CDN or content delivery network. This is a specialized network architecture that places streaming servers geographically closer to the user, actually right inside their local internet service providers. By doing this, it bypasses core internet congestion to deliver that live video without the dreaded buffering.
Section 4. DayZine Edge, a case study. To bring this abstract tech talk down to earth, let's look at how it played out in a massive real-world scenario. When DAZN secured the primary broadcasting rights for Serie A football in 2021, the stakes couldn't have been higher. They knew the local Italian network infrastructure would completely buckle under the demand of millions of passionate football fans streaming all at once. This challenge led to the birth of DAZN Edge, where they partnered with an industry innovator called Mainstreaming to build a private edge CDN specifically tailored for this tsunami of live traffic.
The execution here was just absolutely remarkable. First, they went and pitched the program to major Italian ISPs as a collaborative win-win, helping those providers rather than overwhelming them. Second, Mainstreaming designed custom private edge architectures to intentionally bypass the core network bottlenecks of those ISPs. And finally, they deploy this network across tens of Italian sites in an astonishing 2 months, effectively building Italy's largest dedicated CDN from scratch.
And while the proof is absolutely in the performance, this edge architecture vastly outperforms standard global CDNs by drastically reducing the rebuffering ratio. They essentially solved every sports fan's absolute worst nightmare, the stream freezing right before a goal. They also vastly improve video start times and average bit rates, ensuring that consistent, high-quality picture that fans expect.
But what is truly fascinating here is what happened to the rest of the internet. They called it the total network decongestion effect. Because the strategic placement of servers diverted so much massive traffic away from the core networks, it avoided congestion entirely. This created a ripple effect where every single fan received improved internet performance during peak match moments, even if they were using completely different services. It literally smoothed out the internet for everyone watching the big match.
Section 5. The data-driven fan experience.
Okay, so now that we've theoretically solved the flawless delivery of the video itself, how do these platforms actually keep you subscribed? Well, by utilizing machine learning, sports organizations can deeply understand a fan's lifetime value, actually reducing their cost per acquisition, which is basically how much they spend to get a new subscriber, by 10 to 15%. But it's also about what the fan gets out of it: highly targeted advertising and incredibly localized content strategies. A perfect example of this working is the NBA's massive success in Brazil. They boast the largest social media following of all their international markets, and that's driven largely by tailored, localized digital engagement, not just generic translated content.
It really comes down to this core idea: personalization is now the name of the game. Sports leagues and streaming platforms have to operate a lot more like digital advertising agencies now, creating tailored customer journeys rather than just acting as a passive pipe delivering a video feed. Building genuine, lasting brand loyalty requires deep data insights.
Which brings us to one final thought. As these streaming platforms gather massive amounts of data to learn exactly what you want to watch, how you want to watch it, and when, who is really controlling the remote? You or the algorithm? As we wrap up this explainer, I'll leave you with that provocative question regarding the data-driven future of your sports fandom. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive.